Today, we're going to hand dye some leather. I usually do it on natural veg tan leather. Sometimes I do it on rough out shell cordovan. I'm going to go over some of the colors and why. Stay tuned. All right, guys, first things first, get yourself a nice fresh pair of gloves. Make sure that your hands are clean and make sure that the gloves actually fit your hand. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, clean hands, clean gloves, nice even surface, no lumps and no bumps. Make sure your leather is a nice, big, flat, clean surface. We're going to be adding some dark colors here. I like to go in between some of these dark colors. The navy, burgundy, cordovan, and purple. Now, burgundy and cordovan are kind of similar, so I may use 3 at a time. I rarely use all 4 at one time. So right here, we're doing a nice spatter of burgundy leather. Burgundy paint. And I don't want to focus on one area more than the other. Make sure that that paint gets evenly distributed. And try not to do saturation. Don't do too many saturated segments of paint. You don't want to get those bigger than 1/4 inch throughout the leather. And I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but in person you can see the nuances. You can see all these little fine little specks of paint throughout the panel of leather, and that's what you want. What you're doing here is you're establishing a backdrop. Of course, this is the way I do it. You can do it any way you want. I would just avoid big segments of dark colors because you're just not going to give yourself enough room to work later on. Here's a lighter color. This is yellow. It's a yellow color that I use. Now the yellow, once you look at it right now, it's going to come in a little dark, but once it dries up, that leather really soaks up the paint and it ends up being a nice, bright, vibrant yellow. Also, if you're worried about the paint drying, the dark paint tends to dry a little faster because the segments are very small. You're doing fine spatters. The lighter colors won't dry as fast, but the benefit to that is that they kind of bleed into each other or into the other colors a little bit. And in some cases, you have this really nice transparent look where you can see the purple or the yellow specks of paint under the yellow. You can see those colors under the yellow. So you have this really nice transparent effect going on. You get that with the yellow. You get that with the turquoise. This is an orange. Well, I don't really think it's an orange. It's more of a red orange. It's a really nice, bright red. So when you put it on at first, it looks really dark. But again, once it dries up and that leather soaks it up, it looks like a nice, bright, vibrant yellow. You can get this to look a little darker. You can focus it on some other layered colors. Like if you get some of that blue and some of that purple, parts of that red are going to look a little darker. They're going to take on more of a burgundy color. Sadly, the burgundy color, when you add it by itself, it does look a lot darker. I've had pieces where the burgundy color alone, if I add too much, it'll look almost kind of like a blackberry or something like a black cherry or something like that. So not really what I'm going for here. Okay, here I'm leaving myself a lot of room to work. Like I've got a little segments of colors. I've got some empty patches that I can fill in later on with whatever I want. And bear in mind, I am going to be cutting these into panels for a leather wallet. I don't know if I've made that clear, but now I have. So here we have some saturation, but we have some transparency as well. And that's what I like. That's what I want to have. Like in the red, you can see a little bit more of a burgundy or darker red, and then some orange red, and then some spatters of paint that I really like there. Some some variation in the colors. You got a little bit of the yellow taking on a bit of a teal look, and some empty patches here and there. And when I cut those pockets out, I want that freedom to fill in the void if I want, with whatever I want. All right, looks like I want to add a little bit more yellow to this area over here. And I'm not going to add big segments of yellow. Again, they're going to be like light spatters. Some lighter areas on this side too. So I'm just kind of checking it, look at your leather, see what you want to add, see what you don't, what if you screwed up by this point. I wouldn't go with doing this on a piece of leather. If you have some scrap, you want a big enough piece, so do it on a piece of cardboard and see what you think. Okay, I've cut these out already. I got some red saturation on this end, and that is deliberate. That's for a reason. Over here in the middle, I'm going to be covering those with pocket panels, so that's going to be covered up with something else. And that pocket panel, you're going to see it on the other end of the wallet. And like I said, I want my red to be in certain areas. I want that saturation in certain areas because we are going to be doing a shell cordovan wallet, a marbled red, and I want that red to pop. So now I'm going to seal the leather with Tokonol. The same principle applies as edge finishing. You want to feel that sticky, and you want to hear that tacky kind of sound with a Tokonol. So you get a nice clean cotton canvas rag and just start applying your Tokonol. Makes a lot of difference. It makes a big difference when you put that Tokonol, because that Tokonol starts kind of like tanning the natural leather underneath, and then your colors really start popping. Once you get that shine, that red shines, the yellow shines, it all looks really good, and it comes together quite nicely. So adding the Tokonol is crucial. You have to add the Tokonol. If you don't, you could run the risk of your colors kind of bleeding if they get wet or something like that. So here you can tell the difference between a finished and a non-finished portion of the leather. Okay, so here's the shell cordovan we're using. It's a marbled red Riccardo shell cordovan. It's a really nice bright red. I really enjoy working with this leather. They have a really nice color selection, so yeah, I've been really pleased with the Riccardo. Here's the finished project, and this is what my customer is going to see when they open the wallet. Right there, I want them to see that concentration of red without overdoing it. You want to make sure that you get a little bit of that cluster. So I added saturation cluster on this end. I have it focused on the other end too. I didn't want to overdo the red. It happens sometimes. I left some nice open areas and a little saturation on that end too. So just don't overdo it, and I think you're going to be fine. This is how I do it. Anyway, you guys, let me know if you like the video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.